Okay, bayangkan ada seorang jejaka handsome bernama Syahir.
Okay.
Syahir is very shy and withdrawn, invariably helpful, but with little interest in people or in the world of reality.
Okay.
A meek and tidy soul, he has a need for order and structure and passion for detail.
Okay.
Is Steve more likely to be a librarian or a farmer?
Librarian.
Librarian. Now I bet my fat cat that in your mind, for some reason, even though you weren't exactly trying to answer the question, it kind of developed an answer. You see, this is the behavior of our subconscious mind, our intuition, or what some psychologists call it system 1 thinking. It happens automatically and it's not exactly under our control. Just like when you see this word or when you see this problem, you cannot not read it or you cannot not solve it. You just do it! What if I tambah lagi satu sentence? From where Syahir is from, for every librarian, there are 10 farmers. So what is Steve more likely to be? Syahir, sorry.
Syahir.
Librarian or farmer? Imagine yourself have a container and there's like 11 balls inside of it, right? So the chance of you grabbing a ball and says librarian is, but I want you to pay attention to what's happening in your mind right now. With this new relevant statistical fact, chances are like the majority of us, you would also ignore that fact.
I say librarian.
Librarian.
I will still with
So,
librarian.
You would still believe that that person is a librarian, even though statistically speaking, the other option is the more safer guess. Even though that we kind of know this in the back of our head, but we still insist to believe, to trust our intuition for some reason. Anyways, our system 1 operates instantaneously and below our conscious level. It suggests an idea based on its experiences or its associative memory, and it really doesn't matter where this information came from, whether you personally know a librarian that meets those characteristics, or maybe you just happen to live in a society that had constructed a specific stereotype of a librarian and you subconsciously pick that up, just like
our nonverbal subconscious brains have access to the equivalent of 11 acres of information around us. Every movie we've seen, every book we've read, every conversation we've had gets stored somewhere.
And unfortunately, our system 1 is pretty bad at telling if the information is true or not. The only thing that it cares is speed.
Are you comfortable?
Yeah. Are you on speed?
I am speed, motherfucker.
So as long as the idea came with somewhat little psychological restraint, which means that it pops up in your head very easily, it's most likely gonna be suggested by your intuition. And that really doesn't take a lot. The only characteristic that you need is it has a coherence to the point that it makes sense, like the story makes sense.
Librarian. So you mentioned that the shy person means that he loves being himself with himself lah, seorang-seorang. And then kemas, attention to details, apa lagi ya?
And all those description yang cakap lah.
So it fits to be a librarian instead of a farmer.
So there goes how roughly our intuition form. And like I said, system 1 suggests this idea. However, system 2, your conscious thinking, which pretty much means you, yourself, is what ultimately would decide whether to reject and find other alternative solution, or like most of the time to accept whatever system 1 proposes.
Woman driver.
Well, obviously, the mistake of assuming someone to be a librarian when he's actually a farmer is harmless, to say the least. But the idea that there are a lot of events in our daily life, which their outcomes are pretty much determined by some individuals or some group of people's intuition, is kind of scary. Some of these decisions can affect others quite significantly. In some cases, they could cause financial losses.
Lehman's chief executive was not letting anyone get in the way of his vision.
We're so clever that we can control the risk. Or that's what they thought.
In the final months of 2007...
In worst cases, it could decide between the life and death of some other people.
Hello, motherfucker.
Shots fired! Shots fired! Shots fired! Shots fired! You know. I'm hit!
I mean, I hope that none of you would have to be in that position where you have to decide between someone's, fortunes or their well-being or their living or being. But I think we all can agree there are a few times you were proven to be wrong by trusting your intuition when you should have listened to your head. I mean, the idea of abandoning the whole entire half of our thinking system is, obviously not right. So when exactly can we trust our intuition?
I don't know. New? That's not how you say it. Then how do you say it then? It's I don't knowing. Bro, it's not I don't knew or I don't knowing. Then what is it then? I don't know. You fucking dumbass. If you didn't know, shut the fuck up then.
The only time when you should allow yourself to listen to your intuition is when you have become an expert in that field and that you are in a kind environment.
What are you?
An idiot sandwich.
Idiot sandwich what?
An idiot sandwich, Chef Ramsay.
So what does that mean? Being an expert means that you can perform a certain task or skill under your subconscious level. So let's say you're learning to ride a bicycle for the first time. There's a lot of things that you need to keep in your head, like the steering, the pedaling, the parents that were talking behind you, blah blah blah.
Oh my shit! That my young man right there, he know how to ride the bike from there. Son, you do good, man. But just go straight line. I want to see how fast you go. Oh my God, you do good, son. What the do, man? What the fuck, man?
That is my son. That is why India's #1. All right, slow down. Slow down. Slow the fuck down.
But over time and practice, you have mastered the skill up to the point where you can perform it without even thinking that much. So that's when we call you've become an expert in that matter or skill. And a kind environment is a type of environment where there aren't many unpredictable irregularities in that environment. It also means that the feedback to your action, it's pretty immediate, clear, and unbiased. Imagine yourself at a long range.
I got the big boys out.
Or archery. You can shoot 1,000 bullets, you can shoot 1,000 arrows, but you would not get any better if you cannot get an immediate feedback on it. If you shoot this way and then the result is not shown to you, how can you know that you're doing something correctly? How do you know that that's how you should do it, or you should change something, right? So that's the same thing with intuition. If you're not getting feedback that are immediate enough, clear enough, then there's no way for you to improve. And if there's no way for you to improve, then your intuitions, your predictions, I don't know, maybe as good as a flip of a coin.
Well, there are exciting players for the Kangaroos. We'll just go at the middle and have a listen. Pearson McDonald.
That is the heads. Yeah, thanks guys.
So this analytical thinking, this system 2 thinking is effortful and it takes practice. So in order for you to not always follow your intuition, you would have to actively practice questioning your own intuition. Stop instantaneously accept whatever your mind suggests. Find other alternative, learn to see any other options. Pretty much the most important thing is to take a pause.
The most magnificent looking feller I've ever seen in my life.
Thank you, bro.
God. Wait, let me get one more good look at you before I never see you again in my life. Yeah.
Understand.
Understand? You wanna do a second question?
Yes, please.
Okay. There are two items. A bat, you know bat?
Yang baseball tu.
Bat and a ball. So one item is $1 more expensive than the other. And the total price is $1.10.
Okay.
So how much does the ball cost?
10 cents.
Yeah? Is that what your intuition also suggests to you? I mean, it's pretty simple, right? It's just a simple addition, subtraction question. But is it actually?
10 cents. You kata dia beli dua item, satu ball, satu bat, but then one of the item cost more $1 than the other item. And then the total will be 1.1 lah kan?
So that's one of the danger of using your intuitive without you double checking. Don't feel bad sebab even Stanford punya student 50% of them jawab salah.
At Princeton, at MIT, at Harvard, and I don't know about Stanford or Caltech, but about 50% of students ask this question of undergraduates say 10 cents.
Waktu jawab tu, you jawab berapa? Berapa?
CRT tadi, Cognitive Reflection Test. It's a test untuk tunjuk you have the ability to resist your intuition. Jadi dah yang telah read this book. Okay, soalan last.
Mana? Hit me.
If it takes 5 minutes to make 5 widgets.
5 machine.
5 minutes to make 5 widgets. How long would it take 100 machines to make 100 widgets?
Sekejap. 5 machine equal to 5 minutes. That 5 machine, it takes 5 machine.